Are you cool with this? Because this is license losing stuff. Like, you're going to lose your license. We're going to lose all this stuff. So I buy this crazy collection of Fast and Furious cars, and the guy is loading up this electric safe. And I started chatting to him. Turns out he was one of the guys that built some of the cars in the Fast and Furious live production and converted some of the original movie cars to what they are today. I started chatting to him, and he seemed like a really nice guy, but very reserved, liked to keep a lot of his cards close to his chest. And he kind of mentioned that, number one, he might know where the Lycan Hypersport is, and he also mentioned that he might have some Lamborghini Murcielago parts that were removed from Tyrese Gibson's, famous bright orange Lamborghini. And I'm like, ooh, I don't know nothing there is to know about any kind of supercar, apart from there's probably some money to be made, right? Being hard up as I am, there's got to be an angle there, and most of my angles I've been taught over the years are to play them on a long, time, shake his hand, be polite, and if it's meant to be, things will play out. I'm kind of sitting around and chilling out. 4 months goes by. He phones me up. He hits me with a price. He's like, I got this Lamborghini engine. It's got a few bits and pieces. There's a piece of 6-cylinder engine set over there. You don't need that either, but, I might do you a deal. I was like, cool, well, give me a call when the safe's got all the electric motors and stuff out, and I'll buy the lot. There's like figures flying around, like 10 grand here, 5 grand here, like crazy money. Like, I'm hard up, man. I'm from Portsmouth. I got no money. Everything I own is in stuff. I'm not cash rich. I'm rich. I don't need this stuff, but I got it. And if I need to sell it, I will. When things happen, they're meant to happen. If I haven't got the money, then obviously that wasn't supposed to happen. So there's no point worried about it. So I get a phone call from his daughter, and she's like, hey, Harry's out of town, but what would you give me? And I'm like, lowballing. I'm like down there. I'm like, I'll give you 4 grand. And they're like, 4 grand? Like, why would you even go there? He's at 10, I'm at 4. It's what I got. I'm not going to offer you something I don't have. I'm not the kind. I said, this is a one-off offer. I've got the money. It's in cash. I will not mess you around. I will not waste your time. I've got 4 grand. Comes back with like 7.5. I'm like, I don't think you realize this isn't a negotiation here. This is how it's going to be. Otherwise, I can't buy it. I get a phone call from his daughter. Dad's out of town. Does the offer stand? I said, the offer stands. She says, look, I'll do the deal, but you need to be here by 12 o'clock tomorrow. This is like 8 o'clock at night. I mean, I've somehow got to get someone to drive because I'm never going to fit this in a van. I need like a trailer and a car of some variety. And I'm starting to look through my selection of vehicles. And I mean, I've got quite the collection of useless vehicles I now know, because I need one with a tow hitch. I need one that can tow a strong trailer with loads of crap that I don't need. And also I need somewhere to put some extra stuff. So I'm going through my vans. It doesn't have an inspection. In the UK, we have this thing called road tax, and you can't just get that like that. That's something you have to apply for overnight or over the till. This is at night. I had this old Land Rover Defender, and everyone knows the Land Rover Defender. It's Land Rover's iconic utility vehicle that shouldn't have changed. The only reason it's changed is because the UK joined the EU, and they didn't like the fact that the bumpers were so high and they were so dangerous. So I've got this old military fire van thing, and it's completely useless. It's kind of cool, uncomfortable to drive. You don't want to travel more than half an hour in it. They're not great vehicles to drive, but they start up every morning and they go. I'm going through my selection of vehicles. It's getting late now. It's like midnight. Phone my buddy Adam, the guy that helped me build the NAS charger. He's my welder. I'm like, buddy, what are you doing? He's like, well, I'm a night owl. I'm up. Anything you want. I was like, cool. Well, I need to go to Wales, which is 4.5 hours away. But we need to go tonight, like now. And he's like, well, it's not going to happen, is it? I was like, no, it will happen. I can assure you. There's only a couple of things that are going to happen. And one of them is you turning up, and the other one is us leaving by 2 a.m. He's like, no worries. So I get this Land Rover out. I hitch up the trailer, and we're off. We're on our way. And I start hearing this whine, like, woo, like getting louder and louder. It's every time we change gear. Like, it's when I take up traction. So it's not going to be like gear related. It's only when I take up drive. So it's got to be the transfer box. I get underneath and there's oil pissing out. It's everywhere. It's over the trailer. It's everywhere. It's ridiculous. I'm like, how much oil does this take? Because there cannot be 3 litres here. It looks like 20 litres is everywhere. We got stops. We stop at the gas station. I'll buy a gallon of ATF, which is automatic transmission fluid, which will do. Like, I know it's not the right viscosity, but it'll get me to Wales. And every 45 minutes, every 30 miles, I'm pulling over on the side of the street, on the side of the motorway. There's cars going by at 100 mile an hour. I'm there squirting a litre of gearbox oil. It's dripping down my arm. It's in my hoodie. I stink. And if anyone knows Gearbox oil stinks. It's horrible stuff. And ATF, automatic transmission fluid, doesn't have a smell. But when you're mixing it with gear oil, it's pouring on you. You can't get rid of that smell from your clothes. You have to throw it away. So I'm loading it. We're doing 45 minutes, loading it. We go through like a gallon of oil. And we finally get to this place in the middle of nowhere. Let's be polite by saying we're rural is another story, you know. And we turn up and there's oil pouring out my transmission in front of this professional establishment. I mean, it's lovely. He's like renowned for what he does, and the way he produces it is second to none. And I'm there in this horrible heap of junk long wheelbase Land Rover with a trailer that's covered in gearbox oil, and I'm dripping more oil on the floor than there's probably in the gearbox. It's all over the back of the vehicle. And I'm like, right, okay, do you have any cardboard? So I get cardboard and I gaffer tape it to the side of the truck, and I drive around to where the stuff is. He's not there, but his daughter's there. I walk in, I dump the cash on the table, and turns out this guy built the Lycan as well. So he was the guy that made the projectile that fired out the plane in the Fast and Furious live production. So that's pretty cool. Start talking. He told me how they smashed it up on the first one and they had to rebuild it. And I got all the videos for that. It was really cool. I go around the back. They open this container. And I am like a kid in a candy shop. But I'm saying to my buddy, do not act happy. Do not act excited. Just act like we're doing them a favor by getting this shit off their hands. Because they're fed up. I'm their last resort. They need the cash. Do not get excited. There's a freaking Lamborghini Murcielago engine, a manual transmission, a wiring harness, ECUs, instrument clusters. They're 10 grand on eBay. I'm going through. They've got the adjustable shock absorbers that when you get to a speed hump, you press a button, lifts up. They're 10 grand each on eBay. I am past excited here, right? I am like, oh my God. I've got wheels that were used on the Fast and Furious Dodge Chargers with ice tyres on them that were used for towing the safe. I've got like 4 sets of them. I don't need them, but they are coming with me, right? By this point, every piece I'm dragging out of here, I am not coming back. The guy's like, why don't you just come back tomorrow and get the rest of the stuff? I was like, no. We're getting this stuff. As soon as, anything could go wrong. One of the staff members could be like, I could really do with that, boss, and let him have it or whatever. I know that everything in this container has a value, and I'm stealing this shit. Like, I'm getting it so cheap that I know that even if I have to scrap it, I'll probably get my money back in the weight, And there's a Lamborghini Murcielago running gear, but it's from the actual movie used Tyrese Gibson's Lamborghini, and it's covered in like the fur you get on aluminum when you leave it for a while. And it's just sat in a container, and there's wheels, which I found were apparently remodeled for the Lycan, as well as a pair of them. And I've got everything from the front axle, the drive shaft to the rear. I've got the transmission. I've got the gear lever with the actual light up part, which you got the buttons on it to select what mode you want. It's got everything, And then she says, oh, by the way, in the corner is a piece of junk. Can you get rid of that? I'm like, yeah, no worries. What is it? Oh, it's just a 6-cylinder piece of okay. I go over there. It's a GNX Buick Grand National running gear, right? And we're not just talking about running gear here. We're talking about rear end, 4-link main. I've got a prop shaft. I've got rear suspension. I've got coilovers. I've got the bags inside the rear springs that adjust the anti-tramp bags. I've got the front suspension. I've got the lower and the top cross arms with yellow, like, Fandango bushings in it. I've got the transmission, which turns out to be a 4-speed limited edition transmission that they made for an aftermarket series of the GNX. I've got the engine that looks like it's got brand new gaskets everywhere. It's got a brand new turbo on it that's bigger than it used to be. It's got an alcohol fuel system all built into the top of it. I've got gauges running the alcohol system. I've got an ECU wiring loom. I have everything I need to put this running gear in anything. And anyone knows that the GNX Grand National running gear, thanks to Donut Media, is basically the epiphany of Buick. They messed everything up to that point. They finally made something cool, and then they improved it. And I've got the Holy Grail, and they're throwing it at me, like for free. Take this crap. I've even got the pipe that goes down the side of the engine, which is the exhaust pipe out the back of the turbo, which is like a 90-degree. Apparently that's the Holy Grail. So I'm like, I'll take your junk. Don't worry about it. So I'm doing these guys a favor. And then I got this safe. So everyone's seen the safe from Fast and Furious, 10 foot by 10 foot. And not a lot of people know, but it's an electric operated safe. So when the car drives down the road, there's a guy in the safe driving it, keeping it behind. And the safe said, I'm like, I don't need this, but I'm taking it with me. So I'm loaded the trailer up. And I've got everything. I've got Buick running gear, Lamborghini running gear. I've got serpentine kits for LS3 motors for no particular reason in my life. I'm never going to use them, but they're there and they're there. I've got air intakes, I've got cold air intakes for LS3 motors. I've got everything. Everything has a value. I take everything. It's quite funny. It gets to the point. We load the safe. We load all the tyres and the spare wiring harnesses inside the safe. So if the police see it going down the road, they don't really know what I'm carrying. They just think it's a big square windbreak that cost me another $100 in fuel on the way home than it did getting there. It gets to the point where you think, cool, well, there's 2 stacks of tyres there. And not just tyres, they're like 35, 40 kilos each. Massive ice wheels, right? And I'm like, what the hell am I going to do with them? I can't get them on a trailer. I've filled the back with, I've even got limited slip diffs from all the, 9-inch rear mains that I use in all the cars, brand new in the boxes, sliding them in. And I'm like, where the hell am I going to put this stuff? I've got these tyres, but these tyres are worth like $500 a set. They got to be worth something. I cannot leave them here. So I'm worrying. I look, there's a roof rack. I'm like, this roof rack is already 8 feet off the ground. I've got a Land Rover 90 here, which is a long wheelbase. It's already 6 foot with a 1.5 foot roof rack on it. And I've got like 12 tyres. And I'm not leaving them, am I? And it's at night, so I've got a good chance of getting home. So I load these tyres on the top, and I am spending hours upon hours looping these ratchet straps through to this stupid roof rack that we don't need, which I kind of thought I was going to take off and sell. And I had 3 layers of tyres. I mean, they're a foot each. So there's another 3 foot on top of my already 9 foot high Land Rover Defender. Not only have I got the most stupid amount of weight on my trailer, I got the most stupid amount of weight in my Land Rover. I'm probably double the weight it should be. But I got some cool stuff. And if this pays off, it's going to be a payday for Hard Up Garage, and maybe we'll see to have another day, move on. It gets to the point where it's like probably 7 or 8 o'clock at night. It's pitch black. And I'm going down the end of the road. My heart's going, doo-doo. I look over to Adam, and I'm like, are you cool with this? Because this is license losing stuff. Like, you're going to lose your license. We're going to lose all this stuff. But I need to get it gone. I cannot risk. A lot of people in life, they make a decision. All the time that stuff's looking at them, they change it pretty quickly. You have to get in and get out, and that's what I've learned. And I needed to go, and he's like, man, we're good. Don't worry about it. And we're doing like 25 miles an hour up these hills. Less than that, 15 miles an hour. It's struggling. My rear tyres are flat. I'm trying to find a gas station so I can put some air in the tyres because they're overweight to the point where they're like 13-inch wheels. And the tyres are like this. They're like really small profile. And I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? They're all flat. We get to the gas station, I put 70 PSI in each tire and they're rated for 45. So like this thing is like overloaded. I put more air in the Land Rover tires and we go. We're driving 6 hours through the night. We get back like probably 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. I pull through the gate and you got to imagine here, every 35 minutes I'm stopping, to try and put more oil back in the transfer box because I've got more load here, so I'm losing more oil quicker and it's everywhere. I mean, everything's covered in gearbox oil. But you know what? We rolled up to the gate at 6 a.m. I told the guy, give him $100 for helping me. I was like, there's 500. Like, I'm past caring right now. I'm already in my overdraft. We got back. This could have gone a whole lot worse than me giving my buddy $500. We got home. I'm starting to go through stuff. I've never been so happy in my life. I'm like, ECUs for Lamborghinis. Like, I don't even know what this is for. I don't know what it controls. It's got loads of numbers. I'll put it on eBay and some jack to buy it because I bought it and I'm pretty sure I'm a jack. So, oh my God, I'm going through stuff and it is the holy grail. Turns out the engine for the GNX is like, used to run on methanol. It's like 500-600 horsepower. It's got brand new gaskets throughout it. The transmission is the holy grail. It's the one they swapped out from the Buick Regal and they put a 4-speed in, which is like an aftermarket GM product. So it's the holy grail. The rear end's a locker, limited slip diff. It's got a 4-link. It's all GNX stuff. And it was apparently movie used for the car that rolled down the hill. I'm just like a pig in right now. I'm enjoying life. Life's good. What do I do with a load of Lamborghini stuff that I'm not a supercar guy? I don't know what any of this stuff is. Could I make a coffee table out of it? I don't know. What can I do with a 6-cylinder Buick stuff? We're in England. No one cares about a 6-cylinder. We're after a V8. And what the hell do I do with a 10x10 safe?
We'd like to thank Transparent by Glassparency for supporting the VinWiki YouTube channel this month. Transparent just released the first system to allow customers to buy wheel and tire, dent and ding, or key fob replacement warranties direct from their phone or computer. The days of having to overpay at a dealership and having no other options are over. So you can visit transparentwarranty.com, enter your vehicle and your zip code, no personal information, no hassle, and see what coverage is available for you. So be sure to check them out today.